Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this What Wednesday, September 24, 2025. This sports program begins right now. Football is incredible, and obviously yesterday we had Coach B.A. have the hoot after the football there, and that was certainly impeccable timing by a man who coached football for 47 years. And it feels like for this particular program, we're incredibly lucky that day after day throughout the football season, we get a chance to learn ball. We get a chance to chit-chat with the people who are, the creators of the game that basically we have today. And today is no different, ladies and gentlemen. J.J. Watt will be joining us.
Wow.
What an honor. He's fresh out of dressing like he was from the 70s while he was calling a football game this weekend that his brother played in, that he's being non-biased in. But also, if you were to watch that game without T.J. Watt, look how zany.
That's so silly.
He's so silly.
Ian, you fool.
And you only see the glasses and the hair at the top there. You should see his pants. Oh. They are painted on. Yeah, they are painted on because he's still getting under that bar.
That's right.
He actually rips his pants almost immediately upon sitting down in that 70s suit. Oh, no. Yeah, right in the front, too, not in the back. Hembo's stats are good stats.
Yes.
What Hembo sends us, good stats. We are very appreciative of Hembo around here as a whole in this entire thing. Penn State people aren't going to want to hear these particular stats. But there is a narrative that Penn State hasn't been showing everything that they got because they haven't played anybody. Ain't that right, Tone? Isn't that what they were saying? Like maybe they're holding things back because this was the obvious game that they were having to prepare for. The first three games were versus Villanova, some nobodies, right?
Yeah. The easiest schedule in all of college football. Yeah, they were just running, vanilla stuff on offense and defense. They didn't want to put anything on tape that Oregon might see and be able to prepare for.
Okay, so that is what people are saying. That's how the team looks. Okay, that's what people are coming up with now. No, they're not playing their best football because of how 136th out of 136th is the difficulty of their schedule, okay? So it's the easiest thus far. Here's a couple of QBR ranks for Drew Aller. Overall, he's 106th. 136 we're going for. Third downs, he's 133rd.
Oh, no.
Red zone, 131st. Now, I have not watched every snap, but what the hell is that stat? What is that all? Because I like Drew Aller. I actually came into the season with Drew Aller's about to be the guy. What have we seen from him in the first three games against nobody? I guess he had a pick. He has 4 touchdowns, 1 pick, I guess, in these first 3 games. Is the offense just running the ball? Or are we just not letting him play? Like, what is going on?
No, it doesn't look good. But listen, they were 13-0 up at the half against Villanova. But here's the deal. This is what James Franklin said. This is what James Franklin said.
Villanova's a good ball club. They got
They have a football team.
They
went to the 1AA playoffs last year.
Are they playing their basketball team?
No, but what's old buddy that used to coach him? He looks really good.
Jay Wright.
Yeah, maybe he's talking to football boys. McQuaid in him. Maybe he's motivated.
But you know what James Franklin said? Hey, we're building depth right now. That's what we're doing. Right now, we're playing the young guys. We're getting the young guys in. We're mixing combinations.
Oh, Drew Aller's
We're building depth for down the road, and that's exactly what he's been doing. He's got this all figured out. Listen, whenever I was in school and we played Coastal Carolina, we won 70-0 and put up 400 yards rushing. But nowadays we're building depth. You don't have to redshirt guys right away. You can get some reps for some of the true freshmen, so that's what they're doing.
We haven't had a chance to really hear from the Barbarian. We haven't really had an opportunity to hear from the trenches. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Super Bowl champion AQ Shipley's Takeaway. From week 3 of the NFL season, what do we got, AQ?
Detroit goes big to bully Baltimore. We go down to Baltimore first, and let me tell you, the boys in Detroit ran something I haven't seen in a very long time, maybe since the 1930s. And when we look at this, we catch it a little late right here, but you see the 2 tight ends motion out to the left. They start with 3 guys in the eye behind Jared Goff. They motion out 2 tight ends. We're just going to run a simple zone play. This was the flavor of the week. They ran this formation about 30 times in this game, and they gave some different wrinkles. Right here, you see 2 backs in the backfield. We send Gibbs as eye candy. We send Brock right to the right. We run downhill. Let's get back in that super eye formation. And we're going to motion 2 tight ends over to the right. Guess what we're going to do? Watch how pretty this is. Watch how clean this is. We're going to run duo to the right. Double team. Look at that. Can you run behind that? How big is that hole?
Yeah, I think I can run behind that.
I think so.
Now, backed up in our own end zone. Look at what we got again. Super eye formation. 2 tight ends.
Kind of looks like a...
What's that? Like a human centipede?
Whoa. I was going to say a train. Like
a locomotive.
Like a dance. Yeah,
like a conga line.
Yeah, like a conga.
I was thinking.
Dak also leader of that team. Yeah. I think Mike McCarthy said Dak is for sure alpha in there. I like to hear that from Micah. I like the full context of that.
Yeah, and I know you said Shefty might have misled a little bit. I think Micah's lying.
What?
I think he's lying. I think he can't wait
to sack Dak Prescott because
you're saying he was saying it's painful for him, but he let it off to be painful for him.
I think he's lying because I played with a great all-time pass rusher who should be in the Hall of Fame, Robert Mathis. And when 18 came back into the house that he built, got a stadium outside Lucas Oil, he couldn't wait to hit 18. And he did. Strip sack, back in the end zone, fumble.
I learned of it from you watching the show that that was even on that list. But yeah, you guys were very nice. I appreciate that.
No problem at all. The list of nominees was released this morning. A.J. Hawk on the list for the first time. We are incredibly pumped for you, A.J. I know you would diminish this because you had to be a guy that didn't need titles or approval from other people to feel fulfillment or have success. And that's because you were in Brian Urlacher's division playing the same exact position. So if you were to get upset about getting voted for things at your position, that would have taken over your life. I assume that is why you've gotten to the way you are?
I don't know. I think I've always kind of been the way I am. But yeah, I mean, another guy, Lance Briggs, on there as well. He should be in, no question.
Okay, so with that being said, congratulations. We're happy you're getting acknowledged, AJ. We're happy you're getting acknowledged.
Also, with that being said, can you kind of start us off by explaining why you think you are better than Lance Briggs and Brian Urlacher and maybe Luke Kuechly, some of the other, London Fletcher? Why do you deserve more than those guys maybe
that's
to
what
get
it's
in?
about. Yeah, isn't that what they do? They have each guy talk about why they're better than the other guy? I think that's how it goes.
Yeah, it's your turn. It's kind of the Hawks' call, if you will, AJ.
Nope, but I saw Nick Mangold still there. Nick should get in soon as well. He's been on for years.
Roommate from college of AJ. Maybe. All right, joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who will be a first ballot Hall of Famer whenever his name is up. Might be alongside AJ Hawk.
Could be.
This guy went super zany with his 70s look to celebrate throwback football with his CBS Sports compadres over there.
So silly.
To celebrate football and how great it is. This man has brought his incredible intelligence and his knowledge to the booth. In 2 out of the first 3 weeks, he's had to call his brother's games. And he has maintained a non-biased perspective that even the fans of the other team say, good on this man. Good on this man.
Hell yeah.
He's a former Walter Payton Man of the Year. He's 6'100", sculpted like he's out of stone. Ladies and gentlemen, J.J. Watt.
Yeah,
AJ for the Hall of Fame.
Hell yeah.
We need all the initials we can get in there.
JJ, you're 100% right. How about it, though? AJ was immediately going to try to diminish that as quickly as possible, which he did as soon as he got up there. At least take the moment, AJ, and say, hey, your peers say you're great at football. That was a cool thing, I think, JJ, for AJ.
Yeah, it's who he is. That's why he's nominated for the Hall of Fame, because he's that kind of guy. So
maybe we do a whole hour here on AJ Hawk.
We should pull up a highlight film right now. This would be awesome.
Yeah, we actually should. I didn't even think about that until right now. That is what we should maybe do.
Yeah.
Or we could compare his stats versus all the other Hall of Fame linebackers and tell him why he should never be in the Hall of Fame.
No, see, that's not a good part about being nominated for the Hall of Fame. We did talk about that earlier, how there's guys that are nominated every single year, and every year all they have to hear is why they don't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. That kind of sucks. Yeah, that's probably not the most. Oh, A.J. Hawk with the tackle in.
Yeah, you can play this one.
You're doing a great job. You having to call your brother's games 2 out of the first 3 weeks of you being in the booth. How has that been for you? I brought up earlier something that could maybe be chatted about. Whenever you see success on the defensive side, you probably want to get excited. I mean, what that defense is doing, there's excitable moments there, especially with what your brother's doing. How has that been, balancing it all, and what are your thoughts on this Pittsburgh Steelers team?
yeah, I mean, I've learned that it's even more challenging to do it when he plays well, when he plays really well. I mean, he had 2 sacks, he had 2 tackles for loss, he had a fumble recovery. So you're sitting there and, like, obviously, we've talked about it multiple times. I'm very conscious of not being biased. I don't want the call to be biased. I want to play it straight. I want people to understand that I'm doing it on both sides. But then, I mean, guy has 2 sacks, he has a fumble recovery, and you're trying to sit there and give him the credit that you would give anybody else who makes these types of plays, but you also know that everybody's watching and waiting, trying to make it seem like you're biased. So I'll say my partner, Ian, does a phenomenal job. He kind of takes over on the TJ plays, and he makes sure that they get the hype and the promotion that they need. And then I just kind of come in and fill in with some analysis. But it's definitely interesting, like especially on his second sack of the day. You're like, all right, this guy's Defensive Player of the Year. He's got a second sack. Like, I got to give him some credit. I got to give him some love.
But not too much. Not too much.
People have been really understanding. They've been really good about it. Fans from the Jets in week 1 and fans from the Patriots this past week have all sent me some great messages saying that they thought I did a good job. I know that there's one 4th down holding call that they didn't love that I pointed it out, but it was a 4th and 1 point in the game. That was a crucial point, and he was complaining to the ref. I wanted to make sure everybody saw it. But yeah, it's a fun challenge, but there's no doubt that it's something you have to be conscious of.
Go ahead, AJ.
JJ, first off, who cares? It's your brother. You can pump your brother up all you want, especially when he plays well. I think people should be able to understand that. But quick pivot, New York Giants, Jaxson Dart, young quarterback. I want to know your thoughts on what you would do when you're facing a young rookie QB. Obviously hit him, try to get him off the spot, all of that stuff. And is there any young guys you remember playing against where you could kind of – maybe you were surprised at how well they handled it, or maybe you were surprised at how well they didn't handle it when you faced them when they were young?
I think the biggest thing with the young quarterback is you just try and mix things up early on. Try and give them as much stuff to think about because you know all the stuff that's already going on in their head. So, just different looks from a defensive standpoint, whether it's stunts, whether it's some shifts at the line of scrimmage. As we all know here who have played, the first thing you have to worry about as a player is your own job. So he's going up there and he's trying to make sure he knows what he's supposed to do. Then he's trying to get everybody else on the offense set, whether he's got shifts and motions, whether he's changing the cadence, all those things. And then when he gets to the line, he's got to worry about the defense. What are they showing me? Now, if somebody tosses out a look like Brian Flores is tossing out, there's going to be that's things that next level quarterbacks are having a tough time figuring out. Now you can get his head spinning, but there's also young guys who are incredibly talented and incredibly smart who walk up to that line with composure, with cool, calm, collected, and they just wheel and deal. And that's when you really get confidence in your team, is when a guy walks up there in the face of all of that and still delivers. And he's got a chance to do that. But I don't love I don't love in general when these teams draft a quarterback, say they're going to, sit him behind a guy and let him play, and then all of a sudden we throw him into the fire and you're like, okay, well, were we going to let him sit or are we not going to let him sit? And does that amount of time count? And then obviously you got Russ, who 2 weeks ago has 450 passing yards, and then last week has the 4-down series he had in the red zone. The NFL is a roller coaster of a league, man. It is crazy.
It is.